That has to be a new thing. Somebody must have sued Zoom for recording without, has to be. All right. So, just in time for the season with Memorial Day right on deck, which is crazy that it's here already. It's hard for me to wrap my brain around it being Memorial Day, seeing that feels like school just started, but it's ending, and it's that time of year already. And I've done a little research, which is going to be really mind-boggling, and I've said this many times, and those of you that are new to the program, uh, what is so special about this program? One of the biggest things that is substantially um, uh, important, that I teach in this program is basically awareness. It's understanding what you're doing. It's thinking about your thinking, and a lot of it just boils down to that. And so, kicking off the summer with the knowledge of what you're going into is going to be really helpful. For years and years and years, I always thought, and many people always think, that the hardest time of year is the holidays, because we are cooped up and we're eating, holiday season, November, Christmas, and all that. But if you think about it, we are faced with a surplus of events, starting with basically this weekend all the way until uh, September, and then some. But it's a constant summertime extravaganza, and if it's not a formal party, because it's a actual event, it's an impromptu grill out. It's an impromptu neighborhood barbecue. Hot dogs are flying everywhere, and so it's really difficult to stay on plan. And no, there's no Christmas cookies everywhere, but it could be worse when it's summertime. And so the weight creeps up when our guard is down. So being aware of what you're up against is a huge thing. And also, I don't want anybody to not have fun, because it's there's that balance that you have to enjoy without destroy. So pretty much that is what tonight's presentation is about. It is being mindful of what you are up against and learning how to balance, learning how to enjoy without destroying. And I came up with a brand new line this week. I have this new thing. So some of you don't know that I took a year and a half off of running, which is huge for me, because I've run 51 marathons, and I've run thousands and thousands and thousands of miles. I wish I would have counted how many, but and so I got into my routine of work, 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 work. And so now I'm running, and so how do I balance work with running, and how do I write my podcasts? And so I have Siri that helps me, and it's awesome, because what I do is I call Siri out while I'm running, and I have her text myself my thoughts. And as I'm running, I don't listen to music. I listen to myself, my own thoughts. And I thought of the best line this week, and it's going to be revealed tonight, because it's something that I've said over and over and over, and it's something that we do nonstop. And I don't want you to continue doing it, because I know I've done it, and anybody that has all or nothing syndrome, or inconsistent syndrome does it. And certainly you've done it at a party. So I'll leave you on your tiptoes for that. So I'm going to share my screen. And I just came down here. So I was actually making dinner like a good housewife slash mother. Okay, so I'm going to find this really quick. Um, I tried something new today and it was a fail. I'll let you know how the family likes it. I tried a, my famous, egg roll in a bowl. I tried it with a twist, so we'll see. I'll give you the full rundown of it a little later after they eat. Okay, so here we go. Enjoy your summer without setbacks. It's that time of year, picnic and barbecue season. Really, picnics and grilling out is one of the most healthiest ways to eat. So what is the problem? When you grill, you're not deep frying. Barbecues are great. It's what we have become accustomed to bringing to barbecues. What is traditional barbecue food? And it's not so much the food, it's the side dishes, it's the appetizers, it's the drinks. I always forget to do that. So from Memorial Day to Labor Day, we have longer days, so we have more time to play. Typically, it's dark out by now. We're cooped up in our houses, and especially after COVID, it feels like now we are out and about. We're getting to socialize again. So our days are longer. Typically at 6 or 7 o'clock, we might be in for the night, where now at 6 or 7 o'clock, you might be out going for a walk, getting a couple extra steps in. The next thing you know, you're at your neighbor's house having a beer. So how do you tame that? How do you control that? Those impromptu get-togethers. You don't want to be antisocial, of course. Potlucks and side dishes. Those are the deadliest of all. Drinks, whether they're alcoholic or not, certainly if they're alcoholic, you need to have a survival plan, and you need to have that no excuse mindset. If you think about it, and I hear it all the time, I wish my inner monologue could write a book, because the excuses that I hear are endless, and they're legitimate, of course, but there's always going to be a reason for why you should get to eat the cookie, or why you should get the beer. But there has to be a limit to it, because otherwise you will never see progress. And I'm never telling you not to have it, but I'm telling you to reach your goals, or strive to reach your goals. And once you repair your metabolism, then you'll have more leeway. So I hate when that happens. Weekend mindset. 70% of people, and I got to go back to this because I screwed this up. 70% of people, more than 70% of people, eat more than double of their calories on these holidays here: Memorial Day, 4th of July, and Labor Day. Double of the calories. Okay, so I asked you, what are your daily calories? 1,500, 1,600? You probably have before, on Memorial Day, 4th of July, Labor Day, consumed 3,000 calories. Easily. And I kid you not that you have. Easily. 70% of people have done this. And when you see my presentation, you're gonna go, yep, I'm guilty. I have done that. And it's not hard to do. It's not hard to do. So I worked hard all week. I deserve a break. That's an excuse. Of course you do, but that doesn't mean you need to eat the whole cake. I'm not going to log this because it doesn't matter. So we get to the party and you realize that you're not on plan. So right away you decide, I'm not going to log this. It doesn't matter. Why log this? Well, there's a really good reason why you need to log this, and I'll get to that. And then here's my line. You ready? And I'm so sad that it's not showing. Screw it, I blew it. We all have screw it, I blew it thinking. So as soon as you think screw it, I blew it, your mind shifts to, I'm not going to log. It doesn't matter anyway. Therefore, there are no limits. So as soon as you start thinking that way, then you know you have crossed over into a mindset that you need to stop, because all of those things are going to cause you to go into eating 3,000 calories. And there should not ever be a screw it, I blew it, because you haven't blown anything until you've actually blown it. Having a cookie has not does not constitute as blowing it. Eating the box, you blew it. So there is the difference. Okay. And why should you log? Because the anticipation of the event, of the food, um, sometimes outweighs the temptation. So logging it is going to make you realize what the worth of it is. So I want you to think about this. How many times have you been so excited to eat something because you've made it part of your plan? You're going to have a splurge, whatever it is. You've worked hard. You're going to have pizza. You're going to have, and you're so excited to have it. And then the day comes and you have it, and you realized it's totally not what you thought it was going to be, right? The anticipation is always better than the temptation. And you know what? I realized this the last time I took my 4 kids to Punta Cana. I'm like, the anticipation of that trip was like the that was the most enjoyable part. I mean, not that I didn't enjoy the trip, don't get me wrong, but when we got there, I literally looked at my husband and I was like, we paid for this. I mean, it's like it's always like that. Sometimes you go out to dinner, you're so excited, go out to dinner, you get there and you're like, we should have just made something at home. So think about that before you eat it, log it, because if you're going to eat that hot dog and it's going to be way out of your calorie range, is it worth it? And if you're doing this, screw it, I blew it, don't eat it because you've convinced yourself that you blew it, because those calories still count. And those calories aren't going to go away. You have to pay them off. Just like you have to pay off credit card debt. You eat something, it still counts. So if you don't really want it, and it's that anticipation that you want, then my suggestion at a party, at a barbecue, is have a little nibble of it. Have a little bite of something. You don't have to eat a platter full of hot dogs or brats. I mean, you can definitely have a little of it without overdoing it before you decide, do I really want it? So temptations are weaknesses. And you can be stronger than that. And that's exactly what my point was with saying, what do you want more? Is it the anticipation or is it the temptation? I had a gal, I think it was yesterday, my brain is meshing everything together. And I brought up the temptation versus anticipation. And she said she was wanting this chocolate something all day, and she was dreaming about it all day, and she was going to have this brownie, blah, blah, blah. And when it came down to it, she ate it. And in the end, she's like, I should have just had a pronut. And if you're new, pronuts are the chocolate donuts that I have on the plan. And I said, see, you just wanted that chocolate go-to that you've always had. That anticipation was what you wanted. You could have anticipated all day that you were going to have this chocolate brownie and then gotten home and slipped in that pronut and it would have been just as good. So anticipate all you want that you're going to the barbecue and you're going to have chips and you're going to have hot dogs and you're going to have, but when you get there, tame yourself and be stronger than your temptation. Think about your thinking. And these next four cues are huge. Do you want the indulgence? You're at the party, there's all these foods there. Do you really want it? How many times have you been at a barbecue, a summertime barbecue, where you're literally put something on your plate and you just don't super want it, but you just eat it? That's when you don't eat it. You don't really want it. Be accountable for your splurge. Don't turn your head the other way and think, well, this potato salad can't be that bad. I mean, it's potatoes and eggs, and no, it can be. Don't turn the other way. Be accountable for it, and don't eat it because it's there. I can't tell you how many times I have been at a party where I will literally see somebody eating and just like, this isn't, have you tasted this? This isn't that good. And they'll just keep eating it. And I'm like, what are you doing? Of course, I would never say anything, but we've done it. And you shouldn't do that. Because again, those are calories. Make a different choice. If it's something you really want and you're really tempted, and you're on the fence, look at it and have a conversation with it. How am I going to feel after I eat this? Because we all know that feeling of how we feel after we eat something that we shouldn't have. And believe me, it works. And I'm going to share a personal experience. Yesterday, I walked a lot. I'm not going to tell you how much because I don't want you to judge me, but I walked a lot. I walked a lot. I'm doing 1,000K, so I'm walking a lot. And there were Oreo cookies in the house. So I went and had an Oreo cookie. And if you heard my Oreo cookie weakness, it's a problem. Went back, had another one. Thought, well, had two, I'm going to have another two. So I went back, two more. So in my head, I'm like, okay, that's 200 calories. You're done. Well, they were calling my name. I went back to the pantry like a zombie, just like I tell all you people not to do, wandered in the pantry, and I looked at the Oreos and I literally said out loud, how are you going to feel tomorrow morning if you eat more Oreos? And just hearing myself say that, it reminded me of how I feel when I overindulge. I did not want to wake up with a stomach ache. I did not want to wake up with that. Bleh. And that was enough to make me walk away from the Oreos. And I also said out loud, think about how great you're going to feel if you walk away. And just hearing myself say that, I like walked out of the pantry and like high-fived myself. I was like, and granted, I did eat four, but I know I would have eaten a lot more. And if you listen to my recent podcast, the last time I did this, I ate 8. So this is a score. And I know if I hadn't said it out loud, I would not have stopped. How am I going to feel if I keep eating this? It reminds you of how you're going to feel, because we forget, we go into zombie mode, and especially if it's sugar, it's that craving, those cravings come out. And finally, can you make a compromise? If you really want to eat the brat, do you need to eat the whole thing? Could you eat half of it? Could you have the brat and then not eat the potato salad and the brownies? And, again, don't have that screw it, I blew it thinking, because you'll see coming up that, having the brat is not the worst part of this. The brat's, it's not the best part of best protein source, but it's protein. It's when you think I've done bad, let me just have the potato salad. We justify these things to ourselves. We hear ourselves talk in our brains and we justify why it's okay to have the potato salad. But it's not, especially if you don't really want it. So 2 steps forward, 3 steps back to the middle and around again. It's that familiar dance that we all do. And this is why so many people are stuck at that same weight. I spend so many hours trying to explain to people who are stuck at a weight why you're stuck at a weight. And it's literally this dance. 2 steps forward, 2 steps back to the middle and around again. It's that, and it's not seeing what you're doing. It's looking the other way at that little bit of potato salad. It's ignoring the fact that it's just a few bites. Those all count. So let me give you an example. You're at a barbecue and you walk in and there's some guacamole. So you have some guacamole. Now, of course, you got to have some chips with it. So you start munching on the chips and the guacamole. And of course, there's those little mini hot dogs that have to appear at every barbecue. So you just have one little mini hot dog, big deal. And then there's all these dips. Now, let me just bring to your attention, when you are during the week meal prepping and putting mayonnaise on your sandwich and measuring the hummus that goes on your spread, every little tablespoon of these things is about 100 calories. So when you're at a party and you're scooping up one of these breads that's probably about 50 calories and you're just heaping up dip, each one of those bites is over 100 calories. So put that into perspective. Your appetizers, oh, and I forgot, the hummus. And if you've heard my hummus, one shot glass of hummus is 100 calories. And I know it's healthy, but it's still hummus. And then this bad boy hasn't even come out yet. The cheese and crackers. A reminder that one cigarette lighter size of cheese is 100 calories. So just in appetizers, you're looking at 1,000 calories easily. You're talking, you're having fun, you're grazing. Each grape's 10 calories. You're not paying attention. 1,000 calories, done, boom. And guess what? We have not even served food yet. So what I'm suggesting is pay attention. I'm not saying don't eat it, but I'm saying pay attention. Have a snack before you leave the house and maybe forego the appetizers, because this will kill you. It will kill you. Or bring an appetizer, bring a platter of veggies, something that you know that you can have, or graze on something light, because now you haven't even included your beer. If you're a beer drinker, you're going way over. So again, what do? Create a plan. Never go hungry. That was a mistake that I made for decades. I would think that was a brilliant idea to not eat all day or have something light so I can go to the party and, get all my calories in. Well, of course, you're going to put one thing in your mouth and you're going to just be done. Binge block. That is when you have a high protein, high fat, healthy fat meal right before you leave the house. Because if you binge block, and my favorite binge block is half of an avocado with chicken breast or cottage cheese with some almonds, you're not going to want the appetizer, nor should you have it, because save that for the meal. Don't be mindless. It's those mindless munches that get you. Don't have it because it's there or because someone wants you to have it. That's always a hard one. Try this. And you don't want to be rude, but put on your plate, take a little nibble, or simply say, I'm saving myself for dinner. There's nothing wrong with saying that. Bring a dish, and of course, avoid food pushers, because food pushers are hard. And they seem to zone in on people that are watching their weight. It's like, how did nobody ever bother me all the years that I wasn't dieting? And as soon as I started watching myself, food pushers are like, eat this, you're getting thin, eat this. So you don't have to justify that. It's okay to say, I'm saving myself for the main meal. Starters, stay away from mayo dishes, stay away from cheeses, creamy salads, pasta, potato, egg. Watch the appetizers and zone your palate. I've talked about this before, but I don't know that I've talked about it in a Zoom presentation. when you, I think it's in my book. In fact, it is in my book. When you go to a party, the very first thing that touches your lips is going to be what your palate is going to be zoned into. And this happens every day too. So when you come home from work, and you open up the fridge because you're hungry and you grab a piece of cheese and cracker, you're done. That's all you want, cheese crackers, because that is what your palate has zoned into. So when you go to a party and there's a relish tray like this, grab, whether you want it or not, grab a cherry tomato, because now your taste buds are going to be on the sour and the perky and the tomato. You're not going to want the cheesy dips. You're gonna sway that way. So when you walk in the house from work and you're hungry, the first thing you grab is what you're going to want to keep eating. And can I tell you, there has been millions, billions of dollars put into the snack industries of what feels the best in people's mouths. Like when you eat a potato chip or a sun chip or a whatever chip, there's been so much research done on what is going to feel that good in your mouth that's going to make you want to go back and get more of those. That's not a coincidence. That's not you. That's not, it is the crunch, it's the salt, it's the everything. So stay away from it because it's out of your control. It has been researched and strikes are against you. So when you go to a party, if you dip into that guacamole first, then you're going to want that salt, you're going to want that onion, you're going to want that cilantro, and you're going to keep going to that. So have the healthy stuff first, and you'll see you won't want that as much, especially if you're hungry. So going in with that palate, for sure, for sure. And if you're a drinker, and you don't want to start drinking right away, then don't start with a beer. Because you start with a beer, you're going to want beer the whole time. Start with something else, something fruity that's going to make your taste buds go, I don't really want beer. Okay. Drinks. All right. So this font's a little small, so I'll read it to you. So alcoholic drinks. Certainly this can get out of control, especially if you are at a party. The tipsier you get, the more you are not going to make good decisions, especially when it comes to pouring and when it comes to eating. So my advice is to either have your own glass, and don't ever let somebody else keep pouring in there, because then it's a bottomless pit. You've lost all idea of how much you've drank. If you're drinking out of a can like this and it's beer and you put it down and then you just go grab another one, again, you have no idea how much you drank. If you're drinking out of a wine glass like this and the host comes by and keeps filling it up, you just drank a bottle and now you're eating cheese. So if they come by, say, no, I'm good, till you finish it. If you're gonna have another one, but at least okay, I've had 6 ounces, I've had 8 ounces, keep track. My best advice is get yourself one of these, maybe not this big, get yourself one of these. It's double barreled. If you are a drinker, fill this up with LaCroix. This is LaCroix. And each shot of clear liquor is 100 calories. So if you had a 32-ounce tumbler like this and you put 2 LaCroix in here, 2 shots of liquor is 200 calories with a bunch of ice. This will last you a long time. It's with you. You're not, you set it down. No one's tampering with it. This will last you quite a while. And now you know what you're drinking. And because it's hot, this won't melt. Now you're not drinking watery ice, and you're in control of your intake. Which brings me to something I forgot to bring up here: the White Claws and all those trendy vodkas. spritzers, in my opinion, are the death of drinkers. They're 100 calories, which again, you look at the label and you're like, oh, this is so great. It's 100 calories. How convenient. You pop it open. It's great. Okay, so 100 calories, 5% alcohol. And I'm sure there's not a lot of sugar in there. This, you're putting a 80 proof liquor in here with no calorie drink, and you're in control of what you're drinking, and it's cheaper. I look at people's logs all the time, and there's like 3 White Claws, 4 White Claws. That's 400 calories. I guarantee you, you're going to get more bang out of your buck with this idea, if again you're a drinker. So watch the White Claws, because they go way too quick, and they're 5% alcohol. So you're really going to blow right through them. And then of course, space your drinks out with water. Gonna help. And these are just the ideas for the lowest calorie beverages, and these are all in the startup guide. Anything that does not have really sugars in them. All right, so enjoy but don't destroy. Your typical barbecue grill foods. You got your hot dogs, you got your brats, you got your burgers. These aren't bad. A typical hot dog is 300 some calories. A typical burger, 350, 400 max if it's grilled. A beer, 150 calories. This isn't going to destroy you. What is going to destroy you is the potato salad. A cup of potato salad could be 300 calories. The coleslaw, Grandma's famous coleslaw recipe, she uses, pure Miracle Whip and who knows what else. That's going to add up. Now you throw in the pasta salad. That's got all kinds of fixings in there. Now, of course, we got the White Claws. 5 White Claws easy could go down in a party, and they're light, so you're not feeling any kind of intoxication with that. Oh, and then let's not forget the brownies that come out, and then who can forget this? Every barbecue has one of these. So now you've really overdone it. So the bottom line is moderation is key. Portion control, log, be mindful, and enjoy. You can have your burger. You can have your fruit. You can have a little bit of this and a little bit of that, but log it. And the biggest piece of advice is, and this will always win, no matter what, is don't show up to the party starving. Because if you do that, you're done. You are going to overeat no matter what. Even if the food doesn't taste good, even if you don't want it, you have one beverage and now you're making all the wrong choices. And the screw it, I blew it philosophy is singing loudly in your brain and you just don't care. So, questions? Did I scare you all? It makes sense though, right? Especially when you actually go to a party and you see, the spread of foods, and most potluck parties that I've gone to, my husband's from Wisconsin, so say no more. I mean, literally, there's been times where, I mean, if I eat the tomatoes for the relish tray, that's like the only healthy thing there. I just have to eat what I can eat, and it's portions will outweigh everything. So you just put together what you can and bring what you can. But the biggest piece is don't show up famished, because inevitably you're gonna overdo it at that point. And don't make the excuse of, well, it's a holiday, it's fine, it's a holiday, I can do this. That's a poor excuse, because that does not mean that you should have a 3,000 calorie meal that you don't really want. If you want to have a 3,000 calorie meal, then have it be something that you really want and you really enjoy, not you know, Aunt Susie's broccoli raisin salad that doesn't even taste good. You know, so. Any other questions? No. You guys are a quiet bunch. Lizette, you're gonna hit your new decade this week.
What was the question?
I said you're gonna hit your new decade this week.
Yep. Well, this is great information. You know, because everyone's probably going to go to a barbecue party, and yeah, this is great. Thank you for sharing. I'm a virtual classroom assistant, so this is what I do all day, and I'm kind of shy on Zoom as well. So thank you for putting me on the spot.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. I can handle it.
It's all good. We can't see you, so it's all good. All right, you guys. Well, if no one has any more questions, I'm gonna go eat the dinner that I don't think turned out that good. I'll see what the family says. I used, you know, the problem is I used ground pork, and it just, but I'll report back. You'll either see it on Facebook or you won't, one or the other. But
Not a pork eater.
Pardon?
I'm not a pork eater, so I couldn't tell you.
Oh yeah, but I did make Kathy. I did make some Brussels for myself.
Yay. I didn't make mine yet, but I started meal prep for we're going camping this weekend.
Oh,
So
good.
started
yeah.
meal prep.
That's
I've
another.
got all my little things together. Yes.
Good. That's another whole topic. There's some, go on my blog. I have some foil. I have some foil recipes on there.
We do like a dinner, kind of like each couple, and I'm making salmon. So it'll be the healthy dinner, and then I'll decide whether, and one friend is making chicken, so we'll be good in that regard.
Good. You'll have to post some pictures.
I will post some pictures.
Cool.
Absolutely.
All right, you guys. Well, enjoy your evening.
Thanks, you too.
All right. Talk to you
Bye.
later. Bye.